Southern California, a region famous for its endless sunshine, sprawling cities, and the iconic hills of Los Angeles. But behind the glamour, there's a rising crisis. A crisis that has plagued the region for decades: wildfires. In 2025, the greater Los Angeles area is once again in the grips of an unprecedented wildfire season. As the flames grow bigger, hotter, and faster, we have to ask, what is happening right now? How did it all start? And what are the government and local authorities doing to stop this growing disaster? Welcome to Speculationverse, where the future, theories, and mysteries collide. At Speculationverse, we dive deep into the unknown, the unexplained, and the unimaginable. This is your destination for mind-bending theories, speculative ideas, and fascinating facts that explore the boundaries of what's possible. Southern California, home to more than 18 million people, is facing a wildfire season unlike any other. As of January 2025, the Santa Monica Complex fire is blazing through one of the most iconic and vulnerable regions in the state, the hills of Los Angeles County. Over 200,000 acres have already been scorched by the flames, and the fire is only 40% contained. But this isn't just a story about land, it's a story of lives disrupted, communities shattered, and a region left reeling. The fire started in the Santa Monica Mountains, an area known for its scenic beauty and proximity to affluent neighborhoods. In just 10 days, the fire grew from a small blaze to a raging inferno, sweeping through some of the most fire-prone regions of Los Angeles County. By mid-January 2025, the flames had already crossed into Malibu, threatening over 50,000 homes in the area, many of them multi-million-dollar estates. For residents of these neighborhoods, this isn't just a fire, it's an existential threat. The fire has now encroached on Malibu's famous coastline, an area of high-risk wildland-urban interface. Homes here are perched dangerously close to the wildlands. And in moments, what was once a peaceful, affluent neighborhood is now being swallowed by flames. The psychological toll on residents is profound. One moment they're living their dream, the next they're facing the nightmare of evacuations, uncertain if their homes will survive. Resident interview. It's devastating. You never think it's going to happen to you, but it does. We had to leave in a rush. I didn't even get time to grab my family photos. My neighbors are gone, and it's not just the homes, it's our whole way of life. Firefighters have been working around the clock, facing conditions that seem almost impossible. As of now, more than 10,000 firefighters are involved in the battle. Despite their best efforts, the terrain has proven to be one of the biggest challenges. The rugged, steep hillsides in areas like Topanga Canyon and Brentwood make it difficult for ground crews to reach the fire's edge, forcing them to rely heavily on aerial resources like helicopters and planes to drop water and fire retardant. Despite their bravery, the fires are relentless. As of today, less than half of the fire has been contained, and fire conditions remain extremely dangerous. The wind has been a constant adversary. The Santa Ana winds, which can blow at speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, are pushing the flames through dried-out brush and trees, accelerating the spread of the fire. These winds, known locally as the devil winds, are notorious for their unpredictability, often shifting direction and intensifying with little warning. This has made it nearly impossible to establish effective fire lines. Combined with record-high temperatures that have hovered around 100 degrees Fahrenheit and persistent drought conditions, the situation is growing more dire by the hour. Over the past few days, mandatory evacuation orders have been issued for tens of thousands of residents, including those living in the Topanga Canyon and Malibu areas. Los Angeles County authorities have reported that approximately 60,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes, and authorities warn that the fire is still moving toward populated areas, threatening more homes, businesses, and entire neighborhoods. For many families, this is their third, fourth, or even fifth evacuation due to wildfire threats. In some neighborhoods, residents have been through this cycle year after year, facing the same overwhelming uncertainty, wondering if their homes will still be standing when they return. But this time, experts say, the risk is greater than ever before. The human impact of these fires is far-reaching. In 2025 alone, more than 5,000 homes have been destroyed across greater Los Angeles, displacing thousands of residents, many of whom have lost everything: their homes, their livelihoods, and their communities. Firefighter interview. It's emotionally and physically exhausting. Every fire we fight feels like it's becoming more intense. The fires aren't just getting bigger, they're getting faster. We can't keep up with it. The human cost extends beyond just the property damage. Over 1,000 people have been treated for smoke-related illnesses in local hospitals, with respiratory issues being the most common diagnosis. As the fire continues to spread, the air quality in Los Angeles has deteriorated to hazardous levels, prompting health warnings throughout the city. Smoke from the fire has blown as far as Arizona and Nevada, and in some parts of Los Angeles, the air quality index has been rated as very hazardous, a level that is dangerous for everyone, not just those with respiratory issues. Currently, the Santa Monica Complex fire is one of the largest fires to ever hit the Los Angeles area. It's burned an area larger than the size of Chicago and has displaced over 100,000 people in total. The flames are rapidly encroaching on historically protected wilderness areas, threatening to disrupt delicate ecosystems and irreparably damage wildlife habitats that have taken centuries to develop. With over 5,000 firefighters on the ground and more resources being mobilized every day, the battle rages on. But the scale of this fire and the sheer unpredictability of the situation make it one of the toughest challenges California has ever faced. To the thousands of residents watching helplessly from a distance, this is no longer just about the physical damage. It's about the psychological trauma, the constant fear of what might come next. And in a city already overwhelmed by the demands of modern life, this crisis has brought everything to the brink. The story behind the Santa Monica Complex fire, as well as many wildfires across Southern California, is a combination of natural conditions and human activity. While the exact cause of the fire is still under investigation, early reports point to downed power lines and sparks from electrical equipment as the likely ignition source. High winds in the area, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, typical of Southern California's notorious Santa Ana winds, acted like a match to dry, overgrown vegetation. This combination of wind, drought, and extremely dry fuels has created a situation where a spark can turn into a catastrophic inferno within minutes. But it's not just the winds or electrical issues that are at play here. Over the past several years, climate change has caused prolonged droughts, significantly lowering the moisture levels in plants and soil. In fact, in 2025, Los Angeles has experienced over 3 years of extreme drought, which has made vegetation more flammable than ever before. The impact of the fire on Greater Los Angeles has been profound. As of now, over 6,000 homes and businesses have been destroyed, with thousands more under threat. Communities in Malibu, Topanga, and Brentwood have been ordered to evacuate, with thousands of residents forced to flee to evacuation centers or to shelter with family and friends. Resident interview: "We lost everything. Our home, our memories. It's heartbreaking. It feels like this is happening every year now, and it's just getting worse." Beyond the destruction of homes and infrastructure, the environmental toll has been staggering. Local wildlife, including species like the California condor, mountain lions, and bobcats, have been forced to flee their natural habitats, many of them unable to escape the rapid spread of flames. And the air quality in the region is rapidly deteriorating, with toxic smoke from the fires reaching hazardous levels in parts of Los Angeles. Los Angeles has now been under code red air quality warnings for over a week, with PM2.5 particulate matter, which can cause serious respiratory problems, filling the air. Hospitals are seeing a surge in emergency cases related to smoke inhalation, and vulnerable populations, including children and the elderly, are at risk of long-term health issues. So why do we keep seeing fires like this? Fires that seem to get bigger, more intense, and more frequent each year. The growing severity of California wildfires, especially in the greater Los Angeles area, is largely driven by climate change. Rising temperatures, prolonged drought, and erratic weather patterns are creating ideal conditions for fires to ignite and spread more rapidly. On top of that, decades of fire suppression have led to a buildup of highly flammable fuel in our forests and brushlands. Researchers have shown that as global temperatures rise, California's wildfire season is getting longer. What was once a summer threat has now become a year-round risk. In fact, fire seasons in California have increased by 50% over the past 30 years, And then there's the problem of urban expansion into the wildland-urban interface, WUI, where homes and businesses sit directly on the edge of fire-prone lands. This makes it harder to stop fires before they reach human settlements. As the population of Los Angeles continues to grow, more and more people are living in areas that are simply too dangerous to be built on. So, what is the U.S. government doing to stop this wildfire crisis? In response to the growing devastation in greater Los Angeles, local and federal authorities are ramping up efforts to fight these fires and protect residents. At the federal level, FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, has deployed over 1,000 personnel to assist with evacuations and relief efforts. The Department of Homeland Security has issued emergency funds to provide shelter and resources for displaced families. Temporary shelters, including schools and sports arenas, have been set up to accommodate evacuees. On the front line, CAL FIRE, the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, is actively working to contain the fires. Aerial support, including fire retardant drops and water drops from helicopters, has been used to slow the spread of the flames while firefighters are constructing fire breaks, cleared lines of land to stop the fire's advance. In addition, California is increasing efforts to tackle the underlying causes of these devastating wildfires. Over the past year, the state has invested $3 billion into wildfire prevention programs, including controlled burns, forest thinning, and vegetation management. The goal is to reduce the massive fuel load that makes fires so difficult to control. At the national level, President Joe Biden has announced a new $4 billion initiative to address the root causes of wildfires' climate change. This plan includes increased funding for wildfire prevention, stricter building codes for homes in fire-prone areas, and support for communities impacted by fires. The road ahead is tough, but there are solutions. Combating California's wildfire crisis will require a multifaceted approach. Improving fire-resistant building practices, investing in fire prevention technologies, and most importantly, taking bold action to combat climate change. It's also critical that we invest in public education. People must understand how to create defensible space around their homes, properly extinguish campfires, and prepare for evacuations in case of emergency. While the damage is immense, the resilience of the people and communities in the greater Los Angeles area is even stronger. Rebuilding, recovering, and preparing for the future, it's a long road, but together we can face the challenge ahead. The wildfires of greater Los Angeles are a reminder that we must act swiftly, decisively, and collaboratively. The next steps are critical for the future of California and for the future of our planet. Thank you for watching. Please share this video to spread awareness and subscribe for more updates on the wildfire situation and the steps we can take to combat this growing crisis. Together we can make a difference.